vehicle?
Has Miss or Mr. Watts provided any documentation of the financial damages?
Yes, I can send that to you. It was a total loss. So to the vehicle. So yes, I can forward you that email. It was a total loss to the vehicle.
Okay.
So yeah.
That's
1 second. Let me
find this. We're ready to proceed, Your Honor.
Is this non or negotiated?
We were just going to ask for a reduced fine, but otherwise we're entering
Okay.
to count 1 and a no-low plea to count 2, and no-low to all 3 counts.
Okay, so non-negotiated. Okay. Thank you.
All right, Ms. Tumbling, you're before the court on 2021 CR 06776 for Taquanese Shaye Tumbling. Count 1, no license. Count 2, hit and run accident, and count 3, failure to yield the right of way. Mr. Taylor, you're entering. Your client is entering a plea of no load to counts 1, 2, and 3. Is this correct?
That's correct, Your Honor.
All right. By doing so, Ms. Tumbling, you give up the right to have a trial by jury or judge. You give up the right to have the state prove your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. You give up the right to have the presumption of innocence in your favor. You give up the right to confront witnesses, subpoena witnesses, present testimony and evidence on your behalf, to not incriminate yourself or present any testimony or evidence against yourself. And if you are not a United States citizen, a plea of guilty or no contest could negatively impact your immigration status. Do you understand all of these things?
Yes.
All right. Factual basis and recommendation, please.
Yes, Your Honor. On or about December 4th of 2020, Sergeant Nash with the Georgia Department of Public Safety was dispatched to a crash on North Main Street at Hunt Road, Clayton County, Georgia, involving a Clayton County police unit. Upon arrival, he was able to determine that the defendant was attempting to travel from a private parking lot located west of North Main Street to Hunt Road. However, the defendant failed to yield to traffic while crossing the roadway, striking the Clayton County police unit with his front right bumper. The defendant did exit her vehicle and approached the officer and began to speak with him. After the defendant spoke with the officer, the defendant ran to her vehicle and then fled from the scene. Due to the significant damage on the officer's vehicle, he was unable to pursue the defendant. Approximately 1 hour after completing the crash investigation, Sergeant Nash was notified by the Jonesboro Police Department that they had received a 911 call advising that the defendant was involved in a hit and run with a black vehicle and was at the Kroger parking lot. Upon arriving to Kroger, the Jonesboro Police Department had detained the defendant. At that time, the defendant was asked for her name, which identified herself, and her date of birth as well. The defendant advised that she was delivering DoorDash and was distracted while attempting to cross North Main Street towards Hunt Road and was unable to see the Clayton County Police unit. At that time, the defendant was asked if she was the driver of the car, to which she stated yes. After entering the defendant's information into GCIC, it was revealed that she was unlicensed. At that time, the defendant was arrested and transported, and she attempted to kick out the patrol car window while being transported to the Clayton County Police Department. After arriving at the Clayton County Police Detention Center, the defendant continued to kick the window. At that time, she was released and she was processed. Your Honor, at this time, the state is asking you to not accept a no-law plea given the seriousness of the facts. Again, this was a hit and run involving a police unit. And then also, when she was being transported, she did try to kick out, the patrol car's window. For count one, the state's recommendation is 12 months to serve, 2 days, commuted time served, balance suspended, a fine of $500 for count one. For count two, 12 months to serve, 2 days, commuted time served, balance probated, a fine of $500. The defendant is to complete the defensive driving course. And for count three, a fine of $100.
All right, Mr. Taylor?
Yes, Your Honor. First, I'd like to point out that this occurred approximately 4 years ago. And in that time, Ms. Tumbling has not been obviously committing other infractions. She did fail to appear at her arraignment this March. So there's been 3 intervening years since the issue happened or this incident occurred and her first appearance in the courtroom. When she was originally arrested back in 2020, she served 3 days in custody. She has since served an additional 7 days in custody. We feel that while I will take Ms. Hagler's word at the no license, that's why we're going to enter a no-low plea and do the $500 fine. We would ask that you consider suspending the fine on the hit and run accident based on her time in custody. We do feel that a defensive driving program through state of Georgia would be appropriate in this situation. And likewise, the fine for failure to yield on roadway, that's the typical fine for that. So we have no contest with that.
Okay.
And Your Honor, I do have one alibi. After speaking to Ms. Jackson, she is actually with the Clayton County Risk Administrative Office. The state is also requesting restitution in the amount of $4,850, according to Ms. Jackson. The damages revealed a total loss of the vehicle. And so the fair market value of the vehicle at this point, being in good condition, we're requesting a restitution amount of $4,850, given the total loss of the vehicle. Thank you.
Okay. In the matter of the restitution, defense would request a hearing in that matter. This is the first.
The what?
Request a hearing. We do
not
later accept a restitution amounts with request.
How old is Ms. Tumbling?
Your age?
22. Lord. And she was 17 driving for Uber at the time of this happened.
DoorDash, Your Honor.
DoorDash. Lord have mercy.
Well, this was the height of the pandemic.
Yeah, they were just trying to get anybody to get us fed. So, Ms. Tumbling, are you currently working?
Yes,
What you doing?
I work for UPS. I work
Okay.
the tractor trailer, move boxes.
Loading.
Okay. So on count one, I'll accept your no law. I'll send you to 12 months to serve, 2 days credit for time served. Balance will be suspended. The $500 fine will be suspended for credit for time served. On count two, which will run concurrent with count one, no, 12 months to serve, 2 days credit for time served. The balance will be probated for you to pay a fine in the amount of $500, $737.50. A driver improvement course. And the restitution to be determined, we'll set another date for that. Miss Brenda, is Miss Brenda still on? Yeah, Miss Brenda, if you could set that on a video calendar date, that way it'll be easier for Miss Tumbling to appear. Then you could just put that on an arraignment calendar on a Tuesday, maybe a month out.
Will the December 10th date work, Judge?
I think December's getting 10th is getting a little crowded. Plus, we need to probably give her a little bit more time to get back and get working.
Yes.
You got a January one for me?
I don't have a January calendar just yet. But
Okay, do we
sometime
have
in
Miss
February?
Tumbling's current address, Mr. Taylor, so we can send notice?
I will make sure I have it and make sure.
Okay, so because we need to make sure, Miss Tumbling, you don't need to miss another court date. You need to make sure that your address is correct with the court, so that we can send notice of the hearing. So, so that'll be count 2, which will run concurrent with count 1, and count 3, the NOLO plea, $100 fine. Ooh, that's a lot. Which will run concurrent with count 2 and count 1.
Yes, Your Honor.
All
Yeah.
right.
Got her address, phone number, and I'm also making sure she has a business card so she can get in touch with me regarding restitution hearings prior to.
All right. So Ms. Tumbling, get back out there, get your job, get back on your job, because you're gonna need that money. All right then. Take care.
You too, thank
Go
you.
back with the sheriff's office.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. So we had I don't know what Ms.